Greetings. Today we shall reflect upon something simple yet profound. Many people look for luck in external achievements, wealth, success or popularity, but true luck is not an accident. It is something that arises from certain qualities within. If you have these signs within yourself, you are already very lucky. Let us explore them together, and I will show you 6 habits you can practice to deepen this inner fortune. If you find within yourself the ability to value silence, you are already experiencing one of life's most profound blessings. In a world that constantly demands attention, where distraction is sold as entertainment and busyness is mistaken for success, silence becomes an extraordinary gift. This silence is not merely the absence of noise, it is the presence of awareness. It is the space where the mind meets itself, where thoughts come and go like clouds, but the sky remains vast and undisturbed. When you sit in silence, you are not avoiding the world, you are returning to the deepest part of yourself. This is why if you have this sign within you, you are lucky. Consider how few people are comfortable with silence. Many rush from one task to the next, fill every moment with music, conversations or screens, because the idea of being alone with their thoughts is unsettling. Silence, however, teaches you to listen not only to the world, but to yourself. In that stillness, you begin to notice the subtle movements of your mind. This sensitivity, developed through silence, is the foundation of true wisdom. If you can sit quietly and simply observe, you are practicing the art of listening to life itself. Imagine waking up in the early hours of the morning before the sun rises, while the world is still asleep. You sit in stillness. You feel your breath moving in and out, the coolness of the morning air, the soft pulse of your heartbeat. There is no need to force any thought or control any breath. Just presence. Instead of following these thoughts, you simply observe them, like leaves floating on a river. They come and they go. This is the practice of returning to now, of cultivating stillness. And in this stillness something profound emerges, a sense of calm that cannot be disturbed by external noise. A quiet confidence that does not depend on circumstances. This is what makes silence so powerful. You see, silence is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is the fullness of presence, of awareness, of being completely in tune with the rhythm of life. When you embrace silence, you discover that many of the answers you seek outside are already within you. Solutions arise not through force, but through clarity. Insights come not from thinking harder, but from letting go. When you sit quietly and allow yourself to be with what is, the mind begins to clear and the heart begins to soften. This is where true intelligence is born, not from the accumulation of knowledge, but from the capacity to see clearly. This is why I encourage you to make silence a habit. Each morning, before the demands of the day call you, before the mind is filled with tasks and worries, give yourself the gift of 10 minutes of stillness. Sit upright, close your eyes if you wish, and simply feel your breath. Notice the rising and falling of your chest, the sensations in your body. If a thought arises, acknowledge it, and gently bring your attention back to the breath. You do not need to chase thoughts or push them away. Just observe. With consistent practice, you will find that this habit creates a space within you that remains untouched by the chaos outside. It is like having a quiet sanctuary within your heart that you can return to anytime, anywhere. Through this practice, you will begin to notice subtle shifts in your life. You may find yourself becoming more patient, less reactive. Challenges that once seemed overwhelming may now appear manageable. Relationships may deepen not because you are saying more, but because you are listening better. Silence teaches you to be present not only with yourself, but also with others. When you can listen deeply, without the need to interrupt or control, you create a space where understanding can grow. This is a rare and precious gift. The beauty of silence is that it requires nothing external. You do not need special tools, a quiet room, or perfect conditions. You can practice silence anywhere. In the middle of a crowded street, during a busy workday, while waiting in line. The key is to turn your attention inward, to cultivate a sense of spaciousness within. This inner silence becomes a refuge, a source of strength and clarity. It is not about escaping life, but about engaging with it more fully, with an open heart and a quiet mind. If you find yourself drawn to silence, know that you are already connected to something ancient and timeless. The sages and masters of every tradition have known the power of silence. They have sat beneath trees, in caves, by rivers, not to run away from the world, but to understand it more deeply. When you sit in silence, you are walking the same path. You are learning to trust in the simplicity of being, to rest in the awareness that life itself is a miracle. So I invite you to embrace this sign within yourself. Make silence your daily companion. Let it guide you through the noise and distractions of life. In this silence you will find your center, your strength, and your wisdom. And remember, silence is not about doing nothing. It is about being fully present, fully alive, fully awake. This is the secret. This is the gift. This is your fortune. If you are naturally curious, if you find yourself drawn to asking questions, then you are already blessed with a rare and powerful gift. Curiosity is not simply the desire to gather information. It is a deeper hunger to understand life itself. It is the quiet pull within your mind that refuses to settle for surface answers and demands to see the truth underneath. Many people stop asking questions as they grow older, believing they already know what they need to know, believing that the world is already explained. But if you can keep that spark of curiosity alive within you, then you are walking a path of continuous learning and growth. This is why if you have this sign in your life, you are already very lucky. When you approach each day with a questioning mind, you are not simply living life, you are studying it, observing its patterns, its mysteries, its lessons. Imagine the difference between a person who walks through a forest without noticing the trees, and someone who walks the same path asking themselves, what is the story of this tree? How does this river flow? Why does the sun set in this direction? The second person will experience the world in a richer and more profound way. The same applies to life itself. When you are curious, you are not simply surviving, you are exploring. You are stepping into the unknown with open eyes, and this is where growth begins. Curiosity is not about being nosy, it is about seeking to understand. It is the gentle question in your mind when you observe someone's actions, wondering what motivates them, what fears they might carry, what dreams they are chasing. It is the quiet wonder when you look at a problem and instead of feeling frustrated, you ask, what is this trying to teach me? How can I approach this differently? What new possibilities exist here? This habit of asking questions transforms every challenge into a lesson, every encounter into an opportunity to learn. When you embrace this mindset, the world becomes your teacher, and you become a lifelong student of life. This is why I invite you to cultivate the simple habit of asking one deep question each day. It does not have to be complex, it just needs to be sincere. It could be as simple as asking, what am I feeling right now? What can I learn from today's experience? How can I become a better listener? What old belief am I ready to let go of? Sit with the question. Do not rush to find an answer. Sometimes the most powerful answers come in silence, in reflection, in time. By developing this habit, you create a space in your life where wisdom can emerge naturally, without force. Many people believe that they need to read more books or listen to more teachers to gain wisdom, but true understanding often comes from within. The questions you ask yourself are like seeds planted in the fertile ground of your mind. They will grow, sometimes slowly, but always surely, and when the time is right, the answers will blossom. This is why curiosity is such a powerful gift. It connects you to the flow of life, to the ongoing conversation between you and the world, between you and yourself. When you practice curiosity, you also cultivate humility. You recognize that you do not know everything, and this opens the door to learning. You listen more, you observe more, you reflect more. You realize that every person you meet, every situation you encounter carries a lesson if you are willing to look. This humility is not weakness, it is strength. It is the strength to admit that you are always a student, that there is always more to learn, more to understand, and this mindset keeps your mind young, flexible, open. Imagine beginning each day with a question. Before you step out of bed, you ask yourself, what is one thing I can do today to grow, to connect, to serve? You carry this question with you throughout the day, letting it guide your actions, your choices, your conversations. In the evening, you reflect on how the question shaped your experience. This simple practice transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, the routine into the sacred. It keeps you aligned with your deeper purpose, your inner wisdom. The beauty of curiosity is that it also cultivates compassion. When you are curious about others, you see them not as obstacles or strangers, but as fellow travelers on the path of life. You wonder about their stories, their struggles, their joys. You listen without judgment, you ask without assumptions. This opens the heart and creates connections that are genuine and meaningful. In a world where many are quick to judge or dismiss, a curious mind becomes a bridge, a doorway to understanding and empathy. Curiosity also teaches patience. When you ask a question and the answer does not come immediately, you learn to wait, to observe, to trust. You learn that life unfolds in its own time, that some answers are not meant to come quickly. This patience, born from curiosity, becomes a strength that helps you navigate uncertainty with grace. It teaches you to stay present, to embrace the process, to find meaning in the waiting. So if you find yourself naturally curious, if you are someone who enjoys asking why, how, what if, then you are already on a rare and powerful journey. Nurture this quality. Do not let the world's busyness or distractions dim your inner light. Let curiosity be your guide, your compass, your constant companion. With each question you ask, you are not only learning more about the world, but also about yourself. And in this exploration, you are discovering the true essence of life. This is the blessing of curiosity. This is the quiet fortune that is already yours. If you are someone who naturally leans towards discipline, then you are already blessed with an inner power that many seek but few truly embody. Discipline is not just about following rules or maintaining routines. It is the quiet force that keeps you grounded when the winds of distraction and temptation blow strong. It is the strength to choose long-term growth over short-term pleasure, to act with intention rather than impulse. In a world where ease and comfort are constantly offered as the norm, the ability to stay disciplined sets you apart as someone who is truly fortunate. When you have discipline, you carry within you a structure that supports your life. It is like the foundation of a strong building, invisible to the eye, yet essential for stability. This structure gives you clarity and focus. It allows you to set goals and follow through with them, not just when things are easy, but especially when challenges arise. Discipline is the quiet voice within that says, keep going, even when the path feels difficult. It is the steady hand that guides you back on course when you start to drift. Many people think that discipline is about restriction, about saying no to yourself, but in truth, discipline is freedom. It frees you from the chaos of a mind that jumps from one thing to another without direction. It liberates you from the control of fleeting desires that offer momentary satisfaction but leave you feeling empty. When you are disciplined, you create space for your true self to emerge, for your deeper values to guide your actions. This is why those who are disciplined are not bound by rules. They are free to live with purpose and meaning. Consider the power of small daily disciplines. You do not need grand gestures or extreme routines. It could be as simple as waking up at a consistent time each day, drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning, dedicating 10 minutes to silent reflection, or writing down one clear intention for the day. These small acts, repeated consistently, become the threads that weave a strong fabric of discipline in your life. They build momentum, they create a sense of control over your own choices, and over time they transform not only your habits but your character. Discipline also teaches you resilience. When you encounter obstacles or setbacks, discipline helps you face them without giving in to frustration or despair. It reminds you that progress is not always linear, that growth often comes through persistence. When others might give up or make excuses, you continue, because discipline has taught you that success is not about avoiding difficulties, but about moving through them with patience and determination. This resilience becomes your inner armor, your quiet strength. At the heart of discipline is the practice of self-respect. When you keep your promises to yourself, when you follow through with what you said you would do, you build trust within yourself. This trust becomes a foundation for confidence. You know that you can rely on yourself, that you will show up even when it is hard. And this self-respect extends to how you interact with others, how you carry yourself in the world. You become someone who acts with integrity, not because others are watching, but because it is who you are. Imagine starting each day with one clear intention, a small discipline that you commit to fully. It could be writing in a journal for 5 minutes, doing a short breathing exercise, or reading a single paragraph from a book that inspires you. These actions may seem small, but they are powerful because they represent your choice to honor your path. They remind you that every moment is an opportunity to align your actions with your values. They keep you connected to your inner compass, to the deeper reasons behind what you do. When you live with discipline, you also create space for creativity and spontaneity. This may sound surprising, but it is true. A disciplined mind is not rigid. It is flexible within the structure it has created. Because you have set clear boundaries for yourself, you can relax within those boundaries, knowing that you are not lost in chaos. This balance allows you to be present, to enjoy the moment, to explore new ideas without fear of losing control. Discipline does not limit your freedom, it enhances it. There is a quiet beauty in discipline that cannot be seen from the outside. It is in the way you carry yourself with calm confidence, in the way you face challenges with steady determination, in the way you return to your path when you stray. It is not about perfection, it is about presence. It is not about control, it is about commitment. When you live with discipline, you are saying yes to your highest self, to the part of you that seeks growth, that embraces life fully. So if you find within yourself this capacity for discipline, know that you are already carrying a treasure. Honor it, nurture it, let it guide you through the distractions and challenges of the world. Remember that discipline is not about force, but about choice. It is the quiet decision to stay aligned with your purpose, to act with integrity, to move forward with courage. This is not just a skill, it is a way of being, a way of living, fully awake and fully engaged. This is your gift, this is your strength, this is your quiet fortune. Would you like me to expand? Key point 4 next, in the same natural style and flow, or continue with a full-length combined speech. If you possess the ability to remain calm in the face of pressure and chaos, then you are already carrying within you a precious gift that many struggle to find. Calmness is not about ignoring the storm around you or pretending that difficulties do not exist. It is about standing steady while the world shifts and sways. It is the quiet power that allows you to breathe deeply when others are gasping for air, to think clearly when confusion and noise threaten to overwhelm. If you have this sign, then you are already very lucky. In a world that constantly pushes us towards urgency and distraction, the ability to stay calm is like holding a lantern in the darkness. It illuminates your path and helps you see the steps ahead with clarity. While others may rush and panic, you can pause, observe, and choose your response with intention. This calmness is not weakness. It is a sign of inner strength and maturity. It shows that you are connected to a deeper current within yourself, one that does not rise and fall with the tides of external events. Calmness does not mean you feel nothing. It means you are able to feel fully without being carried away by emotions. It allows you to experience frustration, fear, sadness, and still remain centered. This is because true calmness comes from acceptance, from the understanding that life is filled with both light and shadow, and that both are part of the journey. When you embrace this truth, you stop fighting against what is and instead focus on what can be done. You become a steady presence for yourself and for those around you. Imagine a situation where everything seems to be going wrong. The plans you made fall apart, unexpected problems arise, and the people around you are stressed and overwhelmed. In such moments, a calm mind is your greatest ally. It allows you to step back, to breathe, to see the situation from a wider perspective. You can ask yourself, what needs to be done now? What is within my control? What can I let go of? Instead of reacting impulsively, you respond thoughtfully. This shift changes everything. It turns chaos into clarity, confusion into focus. Cultivating calmness is not about forcing yourself to be still. It is about creating a space within where you can return to yourself, even when the world around you is noisy. This can be done through simple practices like mindful breathing, taking a short walk, or simply pausing for a few moments before speaking or acting. Each time you choose calmness, you strengthen this inner muscle, making it easier to return to it the next time. Over time, this becomes a natural part of who you are, a quiet refuge that you carry with you wherever you go. This habit of calmness also invites patience. When you are calm, you are not rushed by the ticking clock or the expectations of others. You allow things to unfold in their own time, trusting that solutions will emerge and answers will come. This patience does not mean you sit back and wait passively. It means you take deliberate steps without rushing, knowing that haste often leads to mistakes. It means you honor the process rather than forcing outcome. This way, your actions become more effective, your mind stays clearer, and your relationships become smoother. Calmness has another gift to offer: presence. When you are calm, you are able to be fully present with whatever is happening right now. You are not lost in the regrets of the past or the anxieties of the future. You are here, listening, observing, responding. This presence deepens your connections with others, allowing you to truly hear them, to understand their needs, to offer support without judgment. It also deepens your connection with yourself, helping you notice your own thoughts and feelings with greater clarity. This self-awareness is the key to growth and transformation. When you practice calmness, you become a source of stability for those around you. In times of stress or uncertainty, others naturally look to the person who can remain steady. Your calm presence reassures them, helps them feel safe, and invites them to also slow down and breathe. This creates a ripple effect, where your calmness influences the environment around you, turning tension into ease, fear into trust. In this way, your calmness becomes a quiet act of service to the world. Calmness also teaches humility. It reminds you that you are not in control of everything, that life has its own rhythm and flow. When you accept this, you stop trying to force situations to match your expectations. You learn to adapt, to adjust, to move with the currents rather than against them. This flexibility allows you to handle change with grace, to face challenges with resilience, and to embrace opportunities with openness. You become more agile, more creative, more at peace with the unfolding of life. If you have this natural calmness within you, nurture it. Create moments each day where you return to stillness, even for a few breaths. Pay attention to how you respond to challenges, and gently guide yourself back to a centered state when you notice tension rising. Remember that calmness is not a destination. It is a practice, a habit that becomes stronger with time and intention. Trust that this quality is not only a gift to yourself, but also to everyone you encounter. So, if you find within yourself the ability to remain calm when others cannot, the patience to wait when others rush, the presence to listen when others speak, then you are already walking a rare and powerful path. This is your quiet strength, your hidden treasure, your true blessing. This is your quiet fortune. If you find that you have the natural tendency to seek growth and learning even when it is not required of you, you are already holding within you a quiet treasure that many never discover. The desire to learn is not just about gathering information or acquiring new skills. It is about having an open and curious mind that sees every experience as an opportunity to expand and evolve. When you possess this quality, you do not wait for life to teach you. You go out and seek the lessons yourself. This is a rare and precious sign of a mind that is not content with the surface but seeks the depths. Growth does not come from comfort, but from the willingness to step into the unknown and embrace the challenge. Those who naturally seek learning understand this truth deeply. They are not afraid of making mistakes because they know that mistakes are simply lessons in disguise. They do not shy away from questions because they know that every question opens a door to greater understanding. They read books not because they are told to, but because they are hungry for insight. They observe the world around them with curiosity, noticing patterns and connections that others overlook. This is not a habit that can be forced. It is a way of being that flows from an inner desire to grow. When you have this hunger for growth, you approach life with humility. You recognize that no matter how much you know, there is always more to learn. This humility keeps your mind open and flexible, ready to adapt to new ideas and perspectives. It allows you to listen deeply to others, to consider their experiences and insights, to see the world through their eyes. This openness creates a richness in your interactions, a depth in your understanding, a sense of connection that goes beyond words. It makes you a student of life, always learning, always evolving. The desire for learning also builds resilience. When you face setbacks or failures, you do not crumble, you reflect. You ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? How can this experience make me stronger? This mindset turns every challenge into an opportunity for growth. Instead of seeing obstacles as blocks in your path, you see them as stepping stones, each one bringing you closer to greater wisdom and clarity. This resilience is not loud or dramatic. It is quiet and steady, a force that keeps you moving forward even when the road is rough. In a world that often values quick answers and easy solutions, the ability to embrace the process of learning is a rare strength. It means you are willing to sit with discomfort, to wrestle with questions that do not have immediate answers, to explore ideas that challenge your assumptions. This patience and perseverance are signs of deep inner strength. You are not looking for shortcuts or instant gratification. You are building something lasting, something real. This approach not only enriches your own life but also inspires others to cultivate the same mindset. Those who seek growth naturally also understand the importance of reflection. They take time to pause, to look back on their experiences, to consider what they have learned and how they have changed. This reflection is not about dwelling on the past, it is about using the past as a guide for the future. It helps you see the patterns in your life, the choices that have led you to where you are now, the values that drive your decision. It creates a sense of continuity and purpose, a thread that weaves through everything you do. This love of learning also brings joy. There is a quiet happiness that comes from discovering something new, from making a connection that you had not seen before, from understanding yourself or the world just a little more clearly. This joy is not dependent on external rewards or recognition. It is an inner satisfaction that comes from knowing that you are growing, that you are becoming more of who you are meant to be. It is a lightness of spirit, a sense of wonder that keeps you engaged with life. If you have this quality within you, nurture it. Surround yourself with books that inspire you, with people who challenge you, with experiences that push you out of your comfort zone. Set aside time each day, even if it is just a few minutes, to read, to reflect, to ask yourself what you have learned today. Keep a journal of your insights, not to impress anyone, but to honor your own journey. Remember that the greatest teacher is life itself, and every day offers a new lesson if you are willing to see it. This desire for growth is not just a personal gift, it is also a gift to others. When you share your insights, your curiosity, your willingness to learn, you create a ripple effect. You inspire those around you to open their minds, to question, to seek their own paths of growth. Your presence becomes an invitation for others to join you on this journey, not through words alone, but through the quiet example of how you live. So if you find within yourself this natural hunger for learning, this quiet drive to grow, this willingness to embrace the unknown, then you are already walking a rare and precious path. It is a path of courage, of humility, of resilience, of quiet joy. This is your hidden treasure, your quiet strength, your true blessing. This is your quiet fortune. If you notice within yourself a natural tendency to trust your instincts and listen to your inner voice even when the world around you tries to distract or confuse you, then you are already holding a rare strength that most people overlook. This inner compass is not loud or forceful. It does not scream for attention, but it speaks in a quiet, steady tone that cuts through the noise and reminds you of who you are and where you need to go. When you have this inner guidance, you do not need external validation or permission. You do not wait for others to tell you what is right for you because you already know it.